Jamaica has a bimodal rainfall pattern, which means we have two peaks of high rainfall activities. The primary peak occurs in October each year, and the secondary peak occurs in May. Now, during the period February to March and the month of July, that is in between the two peaks, we also have our lowest period of rainfall. So we are in one of those low periods now of rainfall. Jamaica is in a meteorological drought. What that means is that the level of rainfall is so low that it is affecting the supply of water. And this is particularly the case for communities that are dependent on catchment. So rural communities are likely to be greatly affected. But there is a more standard and precise definition of a meteorological drought, and that is determined by what is called the Standardized Precipitation Index. And this is a tool used to monitor drought conditions based on precipitation, meaning rainfall. For Jamaica, a meteorological drought event occurs anytime the SPI, that is the Standard Precipitation Index, is negative for at least 2 consecutive months and reaches certain particular values, but suffice to say that we have hit those marks. People who are in rural areas who depend on rainwater catchment or have water systems that depend on catchment, they are starting to feel the impact of the drought. So they don't need this index to say that they are in a drought situation. The meteorological drought is different from the hydrological drought, which is focusing on your stream flows, your flows in your rivers, the level of water in your aquifers, and so forth. We are not yet at that point. So we are not yet experiencing a hydrological drought. However, the starting point of that is when your rainfall is persistently low. The situation is of concern, but it is not one in which I would say we should panic. But we are being proactive, we are preparing the country, and we are trying to bring our citizens into the understanding of the changes that are taking place in our climate. We had made an allocation of 50 million Jamaican dollars to support the initial response. We will put in another 100 million Jamaican dollars into the response, and the response will be channeled through the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. It will be channeled through the Ministry of Local Government and filtering through the various municipal authorities. We gave 30 million to the parish councils for them to start the initial response. In terms of how the resources will be used, we're going to concentrate on the rural areas that are impacted, because we still have sufficient supplies in our catchment and in our treatment facilities and in our reservoirs, even though some of them are showing decline. The utility areas, meaning the areas served largely by the NWC through metered water, they are not affected as badly as the rural areas. For this phase of our drought response, we're going to be focusing on the rural parishes, and we will be directing the funds by need. As this is the initial phase, we're going to go case by case, need by need, so that we maximize the value of the response. In other words, there are some areas that will not need assistance right now, while other areas will need great assistance. So we're being sensitive to that. If there is an urban community that is affected, and there may be a few of them who depend on catchments or on water systems that are not part of the NWC's system, they too will get support. The NWC will play a critical role in all of this as well. In November last year, we took receipt of 8 new water trucks. So your government has been increasing our capacity to respond to these crises. These 8 trucks are with the NWC, and we have another 8 that we are in the process of purchasing the others. In addition to that, there are some parish councils that we had provided with trucks. We're going to continue to increase our capacity with trucking and the replenishment of the capacity of our rapid response for water. We have invested heavily in putting in an entire new water trunk for the corporate area. We have invested heavily in what we call our non-revenue water reduction, meaning that the NWC now has less leaks than before and therefore is able to recover more funds from the water it produces.